Mark D.
Yes. Uko ready?
Siweke YouTube. Bado bwana, wewe waacha bwana. Haya, weka sasa.
Aye.
Okay, a recap of what we did last time. We were able to look at the generations of computers from first generation to fifth generation, and we also able to look at the history of computers. So today, I think we're able to look at first generation, from first generation to fifth generation types of computers, and we were able to go through the generations. First generation, this came in 1946 to 1956, where we say they used technology. Then we looked at the second generation from 1957 to 1963. These ones, you have to note that the technology, they used transistors instead of vacuum tubes. Then the next, we have the third generation, which use integrated circuits, the ICs. Then we have the fourth generation, which came in 1979 to 1989. These ones use large integrated circuits. Then we have the ones that used the ultra high ICs, that is the fifth generation. That is from 1990 to present. So today we are going to delve into, and I told you that you join. So I hope most of you are able to join from if you want to get the notes, you have to join the eLearning portal and be able to get what is supposed to be there. So this morning, we are going to look at the types of computers.
Just hold on.
You have not managed to connect?
No, I'm just trying to. Just hold on kiasi tu. I want to select the screen. you can now start.
Last time, I think we were able to do the evolution of computers. So today we are going to start with the types of computers and the types of computer. Here, it will be important to know that manufacturers offer many shapes and sizes of computer systems, but the many models can be broadly classified using various classification criteria. So computers are classified according to functionality, size, and power and purpose. For example, using type of data handled, computers can be classified as analog computers. If you are now looking at classification in terms of functionality, for example, using the data handled, computers can be classified as analog computers or digital computers. So the analog, they can be either classified as analog, digital, or hybrid. So analog, this is a computer in which numbers and values are represented by physical, measurable quantities such as voltages. They perform arithmetic and analogical operations by measuring physical changes, temperature, or pressure. It measures values of continuous variable quantities. It is common in scientific work. So it is very common in scientific work, and you can see the diagram of analog things like odometers they use analog computers. So that is very important. Then now we move to what we call digital computers. They are computers in which data is represented in digital or number form. Here the computers operate on digital data by performing arithmetic and logic operations on the data. They recognize data by counting discrete signals, representing either on or off, that is 0 or 1. So they only use 0 or 1. Anything to do with digital, they only understand data that is 0 or 1. So digital computers can be divided into general and dedicated computers. So computers which combine feature of analog and digital types are called hybrid, which is the next. So you can classify also into hybrid. So let's move to hybrid and you see what hybrid is. A hybrid computer is a crossbreed between two breeds. In a computer, this refers to the computers that are designed to handle more discrete and analog, they handle both discrete and analog. So they are meant to merge the strong points of analog, such as simulation, and digital computers' ease of changing from one program into another. So here we have said use a diagram to differentiate between analog and digital signals. How do you differentiate between analog and digital signals? The other ones use current, and for digital signals they use zeros and ones. Let me see if I can differentiate that using a diagram. So we can have, let me show you analog signals and digital signals. Let me show you the images. Just a minute. Let me share. Let me share something new here. Now I want to share so that you can see what analog and digital signal. So you can see like in this area, you can see analog. Analog, they go like wave, like current. But look at the digital signals here. This is how they look like. If you see what I'm pointing here, you can see the digital signals. When it is up, it is 1. Like look at this one. When it is up, it is 1. When it is down, it is 0, 0, then 1, then 0, 0, then 1. But this will be represented in analog signal using such a wave. So that's what we are saying. So that will be the difference between analog and digital signals. This one, they are wave-like current, the way current moves. This is analog, but now these are digital representation of the same. So you really need to know that difference. Very important for you to know. So let's go back to the notes. So I think that's the difference. I think that for everyone there to see, we are very clear on that. So next we go. So the next subsection carries the major group of computers in use today. And now this is what we call classifying computers according to size. Now, if you classify computers according to size, it is very important that you know that there are different sizes. So computers range from supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini computers, microcomputers, and the portable computers, including what you are carrying, like your smartphones. The current smartphones are actually just computers, and they are really helping us to do most of our work. So we really need to know how to use these types of computers, because now that's what the current we might not dwell into what has been there, but we are going to dwell in what has been used, what is being used currently. I know from the historical perspective, we have looked at the older generations. We looked at the older ones, but right now we have to concentrate now on the classifications according to size. So so the classification according to size, this was done based on the storage capacity, speed, and cost, and the power and processing power. Under this classification, computer systems are classified as supercomputers, mainframe, mini computers, microcomputers, and portable computers. So these are discussed below, so we are discussing them. We are moving to the discussion, and let's see where to start. We want to move to, so let's move to supercomputers. So let's move to supercomputers. These have extremely large storage capacities and computing speeds, which are at least 10 times faster than other computers. They are used for large-scale numerical problems in scientific and engineering disciplines such as electronics, weather forecasting. The first supercomputer was developed in USA by Gray Computers. This computer is not used as a PC in a home, neither by a student in a college. So governments especially use this type of computers for their different calculations and heavy jobs. Different industries also use these huge computers for designing their product. In most of the Hollywood movies, it is used for animation purposes. So especially when those who watch Hollywood movies, you will find that they use this type of computers in the Hollywood movies. So this is where they could be used. So you need to know that they could be used there. They were very large in size. They are known for von Neumann's design, multiple processor systems with parallel processing. So they have very many processors, and they can do parallel processing. In such a system, a task is broken down and shared among processors for fast execution. They are used for complex tasks requiring a lot of computation power. So if you want to do a lot of computation power, these were the systems. They are very big in size. They are what we call the supercomputers. Then we came in the mainframe. Computer is another giant computer after the supercomputer and millions of instructions and capable of accessing billions of data. They are they are physically very large in size with very high capacity of main memory. They are large in size, but they are smaller compared to supercomputers. Supercomputers are very big compared to mainframe. So this you need to note. So this computer is commonly used in big hospitals, airline reservation companies, and many other huge companies prefer mainframe because of its capability of retrieving data on a huge basis. They can be linked to small computers and handle hundreds of users. They are also used in space exploration. The term mainframe was mainly used for earliest computers as they were big in size, though today the term is used to refer to a large computers. And large number of peripherals can be attached to them. They are expensive to install because they support a large number of terminals for use by a variety of users simultaneously. They are known to have large storage and high computing speed, but relatively low than the supercomputers. What was prominent for these computers was the ability to be linked into a network. That ability to be linked into a network. So most of them, you can get that some of them are used as servers to connect them. They connect other. Mostly mainframe are used as servers, computer servers. Most people use them as servers in computer, meaning that you connect other computers, get data from them, and they can be used for storage and other capabilities. So the third the third smallest compared to the first two is mini computers. It's a bit medium-sized computer with moderate cost and used for large volume applications. It can serve multiple users simultaneously. They are smaller than the mainframe but the mini computers. They support concurrent users. They can be used as servers in companies. They are slower and less costly compared to mainframe computers, but more powerful, reliable, and expensive than microcomputers. So a microcomputer is the smallest general purpose processing system. Microcomputers are also referred to as personal computers. They are of advanced technology, i.e., the micro era based on large scale integration that confines several physical components per small element size integrated circuits. Hence, the size uh, reduced. It is the smallest of the three computers. They are usually called the personal computers since they are designed to be used by individuals. The micro chip technology has enabled reduction of size of computers. So microcomputer can be a desktop, a laptop, notebooks, or even palm top, or even the smartphones that you have. I think the smartphones should be added here, smartphones. So a notebook computer, an extremely lightweight personal computer. Notebook computers typically weigh less than 6 pounds and are small enough to fit easily in a briefcase. Aside from size and portability, notebook computers use variety of technologies known as flat panel technologies to produce a lightweight and non-bulky display screen. We have the desktop computer is an independent personal computer that is made especially from use on a desk in an office or home. Especially if you go to Kibabii, you will see that they use desktop computer, the ones that have a screen and a CPU. You will see that those are the normal computers we use when you are registering. I think you have seen those computers in Kibabii, the desktop computers. So the term is used mainly to distinguish this type of personal computer from portable computers and laptops, but also to distinguish other types of computers like server or mainframe. Then laptops, a small portable computer light enough to carry comfortably with a flat screen and a keyboard that fold together. Laptops are battery operated, often have a thin backlight or side lit LCD display screen and some models can even meet with a docking station to perform as a fully sized desktop system back at the office. Advances in battery technology allow laptop computers to run for many hours between charges, and some models have a set of business applications built into ROM. Today's high-end, these advanced laptops provide all the capabilities of most desktop computers. So a small computer that literally fits in your palm, that's what we call a palm top. We have also what we call, apart from laptop, we have a palm top, a small computer that literally fits in your palm. Compared to a full-size computer, palm tops are severely limited, but they are practical for certain functions such as phone books and calendars. Palm tops that use a pen rather than a keyboard for input are often called the handheld computers, or PDS. Because of their small size, most palm top computers do not include disk drives. However, many contain PCMCI slots in which you can insert disk drives, modems, memory, and other devices. Nowadays, palm tops are being integrated into mobile phones as multi-purpose devices, and you can see that palm top, after palm top, you have the smartphones, and smartphones also have a place where you can insert memory card, and at least you can also, some of them have the light pens that you can write, but some do not have. It depends with the type of phones you have, where you can even write notes and do most of the things. So the last part on this is the smartphone, which is not in the notes, but you have to know that it's the smartphone is the last part of this um, microcomputers. They are self-contained units and usually developed for use by one person at a time, but can be linked in very large system. They are cheap, easy to use even at home, and can be read for a variety of applications from small to medium range. They are available in 3 models. So we have the personal computers, then PCXT, PC with external technology, then PCAT, PC with advanced technology. Then we have what we call the personal computers. So personal computer has a monitor, a keyboard, disk drive, printer, and CPU. This is the computer. The CPU of a personal computer has a motherboard with several chips mounted on a circuit board. The major components of a circuit board are microprocessor, RAM, ROM chips, and other supporting circuits. So microprocessors and microprocessor. So the microprocessor chip is like a brain of the human being, which contains circuits and registers to perform arithmetic, logic, and control functions. It contains ALU, which is the arithmetic logic unit, and control unit. This chip will be able to retrieve data from the input, output devices, store, manipulate, and process a byte of data at a time. A byte is a computer word, and there is a bit. The single smallest unit of data is what we call a byte. When you say 0 or 1, if you say 1 in computer, 1 is a bit. And if you combine them to form a word, like if you combine 4 of them, they form a word. Like maybe number 1 is 0001. That is, if you do 00001, that becomes what we call a byte. But the single digit 0 is what we call a bit, B-I-T. So there is an address bus which is built into these chips to determine the storage locations of RAM, of the data, and the instructions of the program. Over years, we have different microprocessors that were developed, and the first in the series is Intel 8080. So we are saying the oldest microprocessors that were built were very old. The ICs that were built initially, there was the Intel 8080. The other processors are 8018. Then we have the other processors are 8088. This is Intel 8088, Intel 8286, Intel 8386, and Intel 8486. Then they came to the era of the Pentium 1 to Pentium 4. So the era of Pentium, when I think when you are born, we have not used the Pentium. We have the Core i5, Core i3. I think you have heard of that, Core i5, Core i3, Core i7. So those are now the current ones. But now these Pentiums are very old. These ones, Pentium 4, people are rarely using these days. But now we have moved to the Core i's. And that's what now you're using. So the Premier Pentium 4 can execute any piece of code that ran on the original 8088, but it does it about 500 times faster. So the clock speed, this speed with which an instruction is executed, or the number of pulses per second. It is measured in terms of million pulses per second, megahertz. It's measured in megahertz. So the following table gives the differences among the different processors that Intel has introduced over the years. So Intel introduced over the years, but you can see the speeds. So the speed of the, I think you also buy phones and you check the speed of the clock speed, the processing speed. So you can see 8080 was 2 megahertz. This is 5 megahertz for 8088. Then 8286 was 6 megahertz. Then 8386 was 16 megahertz. 8486 was 25 megahertz. Pentium 1 was 60 megahertz. Pentium 2 was 233 megahertz. Pentium 4 was 450 megahertz. Pentium 4 was 1.5 megahertz, and Pentium 4 was 3.6 megahertz. So you're comparing with your phone, you see that these ones are very slow, and most of them were doing 8-bit, 32-bit, but the current computers, you will realize that they use what we call the 64-bit. They no longer use this old technology. But it's important to know that nowadays we have fully 64 bits with a 64-bit bus on the that are being used now. With the number, I think we're going to look at the buses, the types of buses later, but it's in the next, I think it must be in the next chapter. So with the number of computers doubling, if 18 months doubling, if 18 months based on Moore's law, the multi-core computers are now the in thing. Actually, they are the in thing. So we have the computers are smaller and they're becoming faster. That's why you have different smartphones, different prices. So you can have a smartphone which is the slowest, and you can have a smartphone which is the fastest. So depending on the amount, how your pocket is smiling, you can get a better computer or a better smartphone. So classification of computer based on purpose. So computers can also be classified according to the type of work they're meant to do. So we have the general purpose computers. These are computers built for a variety of processing jobs. They are capable of variety tasks. The computer can be put to different uses by changing the software, the program. General purpose computers are both used for scientific and industrial application. They are developed to meet the requirements of several areas, such as simulation, solving mathematical equations, payroll, and personal database. We have the special purpose. These are computers specifically to perform specialized tasks, e.g. weather forecasting and the generation of weather maps. Then we have the dedicated. These are computers, even though they can perform various tasks, they are dedicated to specific application like word processing. So those we call the dedicated. So here, for example, we have a question here. Which one of the following types of computer is commonly used in offices? I think the most common types of computers that are used in offices are microcomputers. Then the other question is, computers have continued to decrease in size, but the processing power has increased. Yes, that is true, because right now you have a smaller smartphone, which is a smart computer. It is smaller, and true, it has increased in processing power. So that is true. That's a true statement. So we move to the characteristics of a computer. Although there are machines, computers show a variety of characteristics that give them a competitive edge compared to the humans. These include the speed. A computer is a very fast machine. It can perform in very few seconds the amount of work that a human being can do in a year if he or she worked day and night doing nothing else. Then accuracy, the computer accuracy is consistently high. Then diligent, computers are free from monotony, tiredness, and lack of concentration. It can therefore work for hours without creating an error. For example, if 10 million calculations are to be done, a computer will do the 10th million calculations with exactly the same speed and accuracy as the first one. Then we are talking about versatility. A computer performs various tasks with ease. It can search for a letter, the next moment prepare an electricity bill and write a report, next then do an arithmetic calculation, all with ease. So it is versatile. It has versatility as a property. Then then power of remembering. A computer can store and recall all any information due to its secondary storage capability. Yeah, of course, like just a phone, you have a memory card. Here we have a hard disk. The storage device mostly for normal computers is the hard disk, but for your case, you have memory cards and in the internal memory that help store that. Then number 6, we have it has no intelligent quotient. A computer cannot make its own decision and has to be instructed on what to do. Then it has no feelings. Computers are devoid of emotions, so they are not emotional. They have no feelings or instinct, and none possesses the equivalent of a human heart and soul. So it's very important. And I think if you look at, there are many questions I've asked in your within the within the portal. Once you enter the course, you will see that there are questions that you're supposed to answer at the end of the week. So kindly make sure that you look at that. So the application areas of computers, areas where computers are used are one, business. The computer characteristics in business, one, the computer characteristics are high speed of calculation, diligence, accuracy, reliability, and or versatile, has made it an integrated part in all business organizations. The computer is used in business organization for payroll calculation, budgeting, sales analysis, financial forecasting, managing employees database, maintenance of stocks. Then banking. Today, banking is almost totally dependent on computer. Banks provide the following facilities. We have the bank online accounting facility, which includes current balances, deposit, overdraft, interest charges, shares, and trust records. Then we have ATM machines are making it even easier for customers to deal with banks. We have insurance is another area where they applied. Insurance companies are keeping all records up to date with the help of computers. The insurance companies, finance bonuses, and stockbroking firms are widely using computers for their concern. Insurance companies are maintaining a database of all clients with information showing how to continue with the policies, starting data of the policies, starting date of the policies, next due installment of a policy, maturity data, interest due, survival benefits, and bonus. Then we have, they can also be applied in education. The computer has provided a lot of facilities in the education system. The use of computers provide a tool in the education system known as the CBE, that is computer-based education. The computer-based education involves control, delivery, and evaluating of learning. The computer education is very familiar and rapidly increasing the graph of computer students. There are a number of methods in which education institutions can use computers to educate the students. It is used for prepare a database about student performance and analysis are carried out. Then we have it's also applied in marketing. And in marketing, you've seen that you can create advertisements. So advertising, while with the computers, advertising professionals create art and graphics, write and revise, copy and print and disseminate ads with the goal of selling more products. The home shopping has been made possible through the use of computerized catalogs that provide access to product information and permit direct entry of orders to be filled by the customers. In healthcare, computers have important part in all medical systems. The computers are being used in hospitals to keep the records of patients, and medicine is also used in scanning and diagnosing different diseases. The ultrasound, the CT scan, the ECG, the EEG are also done by computerized machines. Some of major fields of healthcare in which computers are used are diagnostic systems. Computers are used to collect data and identify causes of illnesses. Lab diagnostic systems, all tests can be done and reports are prepared by computer. The patient monitoring systems, these are used to check patient signs for abnormality, such as in cardiac arrest and ECG. And systems, computers check drug labels, expiry dates, harmful drug side effects. So that is very important that you need to know is very common. Then, and computers are also used in performing surgery, especially Kenya we've not reached there, but abroad some of them are using computerized system, especially when they're having like back surgery where you require accuracy and, and you are dealing with the vertebra, uh, which is very dangerous. If you're not accurate, then it can cause issues. So it's very important that you use sometimes computers, robotics, especially in the developed countries. You get that they are using that. Then in engineering, computers are used in engineering purposes. One of the major areas is the CAD, computer aided design. Computer aided design provide creation, edition, and modification of images. Some fields are structural engineering, which requires stress and strain analysis required for design of ships, buildings, budgets, and airlines. Then we have industrial engineering. Computers deal with design, implementation, improvement of integrated systems of people, materials, and equipments. Architectural engineering. Computers help in planning towns, designing buildings, determining a range of buildings on a site using both 2D and 3D drawings. Then we have military. Computers are largely used in defense, modern tanks, missiles, weapon. So these days, you can see they are using different types of computers. For example, in military, you can see that these days you just use computer, you locate the place where the enemies are, and you release a missile from the comfort of a room instead of going to that. So these are things that you have seen in movies, and you know that it happens. So you employ computerized control systems in these areas of modern tanks, missile, and weapons. You use them. Some military areas where a computer has been used are missile control, military communication, military operations and planning, smart weapon communication. And you've seen like the US normally uses them in war. They bomb a place while they're in the US in the comfort of a room. So communication means to convey a message, an idea, a picture, or a speech that is received and understood clearly and correctly by the person for whom it is meant. Some main areas in this category are email chatting, Usenet file transfer protocol, telnet, and video conferencing. So something funny you didn't know is that computers have a military background. The first people who developed most of these computers have been used in military. Even the communication through email were used in military initially. Initially, computers were only meant to be used in military. So then they advanced to other areas, but mostly people use them in military. And the military has helped advance the communication systems. Even the email you have right now, the video conferencing, all of them have a background from the military. Military has always been ahead in terms of research, and that's what has brought us better computers. So government computers play an important role in government applications. Some major fields in this category are budgets, sales tax department, income tax department, the male-female ratio, computerization of voters lists. Others are computerization of driving license systems, computerization of the PAN card, and the weather forecasting. So what are the advantages of a computer? Advantages of a computer in business application. So processing tasks in a high speed, therefore quick responses, stores a lot of information, it can be accessed very fast. They work for a long period of time without getting tired, hence same level of efficiency in performing tasks. Some activities can be automated, hence leaving personnel to attend to critical matters. They are highly accurate in their work, hence precise reports. They can be used to perform a variety of tasks, thus reducing the expense of purchasing a machine for each and every task. So the advantages in in an organization handling errors easily, uh, easy storage and retrieval of information, increased efficiency, high quality work, reducing the cost, fast processing of information, sharing information, increased accuracy, improved morale of workers, and reliability. Then quick access and retrieval of data and information. So the disadvantages, they have no intelligent quotients. A computer is a machine that has no intelligence of its own to perform a task. Therefore, each and every instruction has to be given for the computer because a computer cannot take any decision on its own. Dependency, it can perform functions as instructed by the user, so it is fully dependent on the user. Environment, the operating environment of a computer should be dust-free and suitable. It's no feelings, computer has no feeling or emotions. Therefore, it cannot make judgment based on feelings, taste, and knowledge, unlike a human being. For reasons why people may resist the introduction of computers at their place of work, computers may lead to lack of jobs because some of the jobs that are done manually can be done by computers, they can be done by robots, they can be done by computers robots. So that's what we say that so people resist because they think that they are going to lose jobs. Then computers also require skilled manpower. If you're not skilled in the computer, then you can't use a computer. Computers have adverse effect on our health, fear of change, fear of failure, lack of understanding, and loss of control. Yeah, so these are some. So this is the topic we have dealt with, and we are very happy that we have finished topic one. In this topic, you have learned that a computer is an electronic device that converts data into information. In defining the computer, we relate it to data, information, and and programs. We further we went further and looked at the evolution of computers. We were able to classify the computer before exploring before exploring before exploring the characteristics of the computer as well as the application in daily lives. In these topics, we will discuss the basic computer hardware, that is the physical, tangible parts of a computer. We will also look at each group of computer hardware available. For example, the input device, output device, the processing device, and storage. But before you go to the topic two, let us see how you have understood this topic. So it's good you will do a self-check by looking at, for example, at the end of the day, now these ones are live for you, and some of the questions are there. You need to answer them in your portal. So go to your portal, you will get the questions. What's the definition of a computer? Briefly explain the characteristics of a computer. Explain the various major advances in computing technology since 1946 to present. This one we talk about the generation. First generation, they used vacuum tubes. Second generation, they used transistors. Third generation used ICs. Then the fourth generation used very large scale ICs. Then that is very large. Then the fifth generation used the ultra large ICs, integrated circuits, ultra. These were very large. Then using size as a characteristic, explain the various characteristics of machines using this classification. So according to size, of course, we have the supercomputers, mainframe computers, mini computers, then microcomputers. So you have to check after doing that. Then you also can look at those books, and you can also you can ask yourself, if you're not sure, you will repeat and read the notes. Okay, for example, ask yourself, can you now explain what a computer is? Can you discuss the history of computer to date? Can you identify the different categories of computers? Can you classify computers according to the known classifications? That's according to size, according to generations, according to functionality, according to the purpose. So it's important for you to know all that. Then you can also ask yourself if you can discuss the application of computers in daily lives, and we have talked about that. So if you can be able to do that, then now we move to the next topic. And now let's move to the next topic. Just a few minutes. Let me stop sharing so that in a few minutes I'm coming back. So let's go to topic 2. So we are looking at topic 2 and fundamentals of computing. Topic 2.
Yeah. For those who are asking where are the notes, the train has already left. Okay. For those who are asking where are the notes, the train has already left. We told you to log into eLearning portal and roll to KUC 1120. Sasa unauliza watu lectures ziko wapi? Notes ziko wapi? We are going to lesson topic 2. We are done with topic 1.
If you want the notes, look for time and see McDonald. McDonald, where's your room? Maybe talk about the room. Which room are you in? So
Academic
maybe some
block
of them.
D. Academic block D, room 4. They come, I show them how to enroll to e-learning.
And if you don't go there, then that is now your issue. So now we are going to topic 2. And here we are going to look at basic computer hardware. I think I'll do in the next 30 minutes. Then I'll leave McDonald to try and show people who have not been able to log in. Maybe you'll take some time to also go through that because I started early enough. So I'm just going to do the next 30 minutes. Then I leave McDonald to finish and maybe show you some things that how you do the assignments and other issues. So topic 2, the basic computer hardware. So introduction here, we have learned about what a computer is in topic 1. So we've learned about what a computer is in topic 1 and its history, as well as the various types of computers. It's now very important for us to have a glimpse inside a standard computer, standard desktop computer. This topic introduces you to the parts of a computer, also called the computer system. It explores the computer hardware besides mentioning the types, after which you will be walked through each type of hardware in details. So the topics has 8 sections. Looking at 8 sections. the topic. So we have the computer organization, input, processor, memory, and buses. Introduction to computer hardware, input devices and criteria for selection, processing devices, CPU functions and components, primary memory and types, then secondary memory, output device, storage and storage device. So because you are not able to, because you are on YouTube, this is a question that I'll ask yourself. I'll ask you to, because we can't do it here. I just asking you discuss amongst yourself what a system is, what a computer system is, and explain what you understand by the term computer hardware. So you will notice that in order to respond to any of the above questions, you have to have known what a computer is and its various parts. However, there are many parts of a computer, and this topic is designed to help you understand. So let us go through each section for better understanding. So this computer system, as you saw in topic 1, computers come in many types, from the tiny computers built into household appliances to the astounding supercomputers that have helped scientists map the human genome. But no matter how big it is or how it is used, every computer is part of a system. A complete computer system consists of 4 parts. So the hardware, these are the mechanical devices of a computer identified as the physical or tangible parts of a computer. So the tangible, something you can touch, feel. If you say about the CPU, it's something you can touch and feel. The memory, it's something you can touch and feel. So computers' hardware consists of interconnected electronic devices that you can use to control the computer operations, input and output. Then we have the software. This is a set of instructions that makes the computer to perform various tasks. They are mainly the intangible parts of a computer. So software, you can't touch it, but it gives instructions. Then we have data. Data consists of individual facts or pieces of information that they themselves may not make sense to the person. So a computer primary job is to process these tiny pieces of data into various ways, converting them into useful information. So processed data is information. So data that is not well organized and is not, you cannot even understood, is what we call data. So the firmware, these are the computer users. So let us look at something called the information processing cycle. Using all the parts named above, a computer converts data into information by performing various actions on the data. The operations are part of a process called the information processing cycle, which is a set of steps the computer follows to receive data, process the data according to instructions from a program, display the resulting information to the user, and store the results. So basic computer system interaction. The information processing cycle has 4 parts as shown below, and each part involves one or more specific components of a computer. No, as shown above, not below. So the information processing cycle has 4 parts as shown above, and each part involves one or more specific components of the computer. So the input, during this part of the cycle, the computer accepts data from some source, such as the user program for processing. Then processing, during this part of the cycle, the computer's processing components perform actions on data based on instructions from the user or program. The output, here the computers may be required to display the results of its processing. The computer also can send output to a printer or transfer the output to another computer through a network or the internet. Output is an optional step in the processing cycle, but may be ordered by the user or program. Storage, in this step, the computer permanently stores the results of its processing on a disk, a tape, or some kind of storage media. As with output, storage is optional and may not always be required by the user or program. Then we have computer hardware. Computer hardware refers to the physical components of a computer, such as the monitor, the keyboard, the mouse, the system unit, etc. shown in the diagram below. You can see the diagram. So these are physical computers. We have the monitor there. We have some speakers on the left and right. Then we have from the left. From the left, we have the next is the CPU. So the physical parts of a computer system are called hardware, and any device connected to and under the control of a CPU is called a peripheral device. If you connect anything to a computer, like the speakers, like the mouse, like the keyboard, those are what we call the peripheral devices. The computer hardware is divided into input devices, output devices, processing devices, and storage devices. So in groups you can discuss each, and those groups are already, I think, discussion forums are online, so it has already been put online. So those discussion forums, I'm going to give Mark D in the next 15 minutes to go through that, so that you can see how you can engage in forums. The discussion forums and activities are actually online. So a personal computer, so input devices, we go to the input devices. A personal computer will be useless if you cannot interact with it, because the machine could not receive instructions or deliver the results of its work. Devices can directly connected to a computer and under its control, in which case they are online or else separated from the computer, in which case they are offline. Input devices accept data and instructions from the user or from another computer system. There are various types of input devices, and these include, so you have to know that we have what we call the keying in devices. These are used for data entry. Something like the keyboard is the best example of an input device. For you, you have a touch screen which can be able to input device is used to keying in. Your touch screen can be able to key in. It's also an input device. So we have the keying in device. The best example is the keyboard, and you can see it is here. It is used to type data into the computer. It has special keys for giving the computer commands called command or functions. Data are typically entered through keyboard and displayed on the screen. So that's very important. So that's the keyboard. Then we have the function keys. That one you can look at. This one you can read on your own. Then we have what we call the document readers. Another input device that is of importance to the user and which we should discuss is the document reader. A document reader is a device which can read data directly from the source document. Documents can come in different shapes and sizes. So example include a bank check, a multiple choice question paper, an electricity meter reader. There are many different document readers, which include one, the optical character recognition. Optical character recognition requires its own specialized shaped characters. The shape of these characters permit easy recognition by the optical character recognition reading devices. An optical character reader can recognize characters from their shape. The OCR techniques were primarily designed for manual, not mechanical input of data. So OCR, which is also called optical character reader, has the advantage of not requiring special inks, as in the MICRE. MICRE is the magnetic ink character recognition, which we are going to discuss later. One of the original uses of optical character recognition was in education and psychological testing. It let researchers code data they derived from their projects. With OCR reading devices, this data could be input to a computer processing. Optical character recognition eliminates the delay and effort of converting this data to punched cards. Test data was input directly from the source document. Optical character recognition is also used in other fields. The New York Motor Vehicle Bureau uses OCR in retrieval of car registration and driving licenses. The renewal of magazine subscription is selectively accomplished through the use of OCR. One of the newer uses of OCR support devices in cells. Tags carry OCR characters, And when an item is purchased, the sales tag is read by a device called a point of sale terminal. If you go to the supermarket, you just see there's a gadget, they just pass through a given product, and it reads the optical, it reads what is in that, and without even, and it gives the price. So you have seen that the point of sale system in the supermarket. Those ones you can see, like for example, what you can see there. Discussions and the advantages, you need to do them individually. And we have the optical mark reader. Next, we look at the optical mark reader. OMRI is a system of reading marks or lines which have been made in exactly the right position on a card or a document. It allows the direct transfer of data from source document to computer. Information is collected on a pre-printed OMRI form by marking predetermined position with a pencil or a pen to indicate each selected response. Large volumes of data can be collected quickly and easily without the need for specialized training. A device called an optical mark reader converts the marks into computer readable data. The reader detects the presence or absence of a mark on a form by sensing reflected infrared ray. The software in the reader interprets the marks into meaningful characters, which can be passed to the computer for storage analysis. This optical mark reader is what was used to mark your KCPE where you are putting marks. So optical mark reader is what was used to mark your KCPE where you are doing A, B, C, D. This was really used in that. Advantages, look at the advantages and disadvantages of that. And this is it. And but we have the current ones which are better. Then we have the magnetic ink character reader. These ones are used for reading checks. Another well-known document reader is the MICRE, which is the magnetic ink character recognition. This one recognizes characters formed by magnetic ink. Characters are printed in ink containing iron oxide. When the document is passed in the reader, the ink is magnetized so that the magnetic pattern formed by the characters can be identified. So there are three forms of fonts of MICRE. We have the E13B, CMC7, and E13B. These fonts were developed in the United States for America Association and have been adopted by British banks. Each character is made as unique as possible in order to avoid misinterpretation. Mostly these ones are used in checks. The checks, when you go to the bank and you want to see if the check is on, you see they pass something on that check and they are able to read it. So the magnetic ink character recognitions are used in checks. Advantages: checks may be roughly handled, folded, smeared, and stamped, but they can still be read without a high degree of accuracy. No, can be read with a high degree of accuracy. Processing is speeded because checks can be fed directly into the input device. People can easily read the magnetic ink character. It's only the 10 digits and the 4 special characters needed for bank processing are used. No alphabetic characters are available. So that is the MICRE. If you go to banks and you're taking a check, for you, those who have taken the checks as you are joining, you know that it's possible. Then we have the pointing devices, which you also look at. We have the devices that have a variety of use complementary to the keyboard are also particularly valuable when used in conjunction with graphical displays. In simple cases, they can be used to move the cursor about the screen. So we have the mouse. A computer mouse is a pointing device that is hand controlled that detects two-dimensional motion relative to the surface. This motion is typically translated into the motion of a pointer on a display, which allows for a fine control of graphical user interface. Physically, a mouse consists of an object held in one's hand with one or more buttons. Mice often also feature other contents such as touch surfaces and wheels, which enable additional control and dimensional input. So the mouse looks like this. I think it's here. This is a mouse. Then you find out what's the advantages and disadvantages of a mouse. Then we have what we call the trackball. Another commonly used pointing device is the trackball. A trackball is really a validation on the mouse. The ball is on the top side of the track rather than on the underside as in the mouse. The ball is moved by passing the palm of the hand over it. So that's the trackball, and you can see that this. Then we can just ask what's the difference between the mouse and the trackball. Those are assignments that you are supposed to do online. Then we have the joystick, another pointing device that we discussed is the joystick. Those who like playing games, it's a handheld device used for playing computer games. Those who like games, I know you know this what a joystick is. A joystick is an alternative to a mouse. They have proved more popular for computer games than they have for serious application. The joystick can be moved left, right, up or down to move the cursor, and also has a button used like that one on the mouse. The movement of a joystick is detected by cause electrical contact to be made. So that is what we call a joystick. Light pen. This is what now you use on your mobile phone. Some of you have a light pen in your mobile phone. Is another pointing device that can be used to choose a display menu options and even write. So the pen consists of a photocell placed in a small tube. As the user moves the tip of the pen over the screen surface, it enables to detect the light coming from a limited field of view. The light from the screen, the photocell, response is transmitted to the processor, which can identify the menu options uh, that's triggering the photocell. The light pen is also useful for graphic work. The light pen is also used to draw directly on the screen. Then we have the touch screens. The touch screens are what your phones have. The touch screen is a screen through which data can be entered into a computer just by touching it with a finger. The way you enter numbers using a finger on your touch screen. I think this one I'm not going to spend time because you know. Then we have the natural language processing where you use the voice. Like for example, what I'm doing right now, I'm inputting my voice through a microphone technology. What we are doing actually right now, you are using the voice input. So a microphone or a telephone is used to convert human speech into electrical signals. The signals patterns and then transmitted to a computer where they are compared to a dictionary of patterns that have been previously placed in the story. When a closed match is found, a word is recognized and the computer then produces the appropriate output. So most voice recognition system is speaker dependent. That is, they can't be used until after the speaker has repeated a word several times to train the system to recognize his or her particular voice pattern. So like what we are doing right now, we are using a microphone to do this. Then we have what we call a digitizer. These are devices that can be moved over a drawing or images to convert the picture to digital data, which can be stored in a displayed on a CRT, which cathode ray tube screen, or printed out. So this is what a digitizer. Mostly they are used in lands ministry. They are very good for that in the lands ministry. Then we have scanners. Scan my document. Some of you use the word scanner. Scanners consist of two components. First, a data capturing subsystem that illuminates the document so that the image can be recorded. Then an image processing subsystem uses sophisticated software to convert the optical image into the digital form and store the data in a file. Unfortunately, scanners often make errors that require manual corrections, so the data files invariably require some editing at a computer-aided design terminal. So there are several types. We have we have the handheld and the flat. So can you get the difference for that? Then we have the point of sale system, which we are saying that where you read the barcode readers in the supermarkets, and the Kimball. Sometimes when you go to Kimball tag reader, this was I normally put on clothes. Sometimes when you buy clothes, you say that there is a tag they have put. When you move with the clothes, when you reach at the point where you're going to pay, especially the supermarket, you will see they remove it. It's called a Kimball tag reader, which could be attached to a point of sale terminal to reduce the data entry. So there's no data entry, you just read that. So read and make notes on the barcode reader and the Kimball tags. I think we go to the processing. McDonald. Mark D.
Yes, yes,
Mark D.
yes, yes, sir.
Take over and show them now. Show them so that those who have not entered, show them how to enter into the system so that they can do a number of assignments. I know from here to now, they have so many forums from topic 1 to topic 2 so that they can start doing. Then we continue from there next time. I think this is I leave at this juncture. I leave you to continue.
Oh,
Is that
thank
okay?
you. I think the total number is 4,400. Those who have attended the
Yeah,
lesson, yeah, it's a good number.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and I think YouTube is the base is so light, and they are enjoying it. 99% of the
Yeah.
students have enjoyed your lecture.
And I hope it's clear. They can get the voice and everything clearly.
Exactly, very clear.
Okay, so you continue. So me, I'm logging out. You continue.
It's okay, it's okay. Thank you.
Let's continue with continue. Just show them how to navigate.
Okay, maybe,
Okay, thank you.
maybe you can now stop sharing. It's okay.
I'll stop sharing. How do I go out of this thing?
Yeah, so members, that is how online lesson is. If we tell you to attend online lesson, come with a pen and a book, okay? So that you can note down what is being taught. You can ask questions. Most of you have asked questions. Most of you have been very, 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 very active on chatting. And it has been a very enjoying lesson. Even me, I have enjoyed. I have enjoyed, although I don't do computer in high school, but I have enjoyed. I didn't know that computers have generations. I didn't know that computers have generations. No, first generation computers. I don't know how were they. I remember lecturers saying that they were using vacuum tubes as the processor. They were using punch card as input. They were very big in size. They consumed a lot of electricity. Yeah, you see, I did not do computer studies, but nimeshikanisha. So kama hujashikanisha, who are you? Hey, no, these are very interesting. And 4,000 students. And my voice is down. Let me check. Okay, let me try and increase. What about second generation computers? You have realized that as the generations continue, the size reduces, the speed increases. I think that's what I have discovered. I think that's what I have discovered. Someone saying that my voice is so low. Okay, let me try and increase a bit. 4,000 tumeshamaliza class. 4,000 Peter ameshamaliza.